RSMj is a cannabis research society. We are comprised of social scientists who conduct research on recreational and the medicinal use of cannabis. We've been around for about 8 years. We have a journal that's an open access journal where members can publish their research and non-members can pay to publish their research. We also have a listserv that anyone can join. So if you'd like to keep up with what we're doing, I recommend scanning the QR code on the screen or going to the link to see more about what we have going on. A little more about the society in detail. It's a network of scientists with the shared goal of promoting, understanding, through empirical research of the determinants, correlates, consequences, context, and assessment of cannabis use, as well as the treatment of problematic cannabis use, including cannabis use disorder. I'm not going to read this entire slide to you because that's incredibly boring. But what I'll say to you is that we represent a multiple perspectives. We've been conducting research and getting together and sharing the findings of our research, like I said, for about 8 years. And we are driven by evidence and try to address all aspects of cannabis use, including therapeutic applications, THC exposure, as well as exposure to other cannabinoids, the differences between recreational and medicinal cannabis use, what it means to misuse cannabis, what it means to have cannabis use disorder, how you might treat cannabis use disorder, and how you would even measure things like cannabis use disorder consequences, benefits of use, and things like that. Again, spanning a multitude of areas: biological, medical, psychosocial, clinical, and even socio and economic approaches. Um, I'm talking to you today because we've been having meetings every year, and next year will be our first international meeting, and we've chosen to come north to you all in Canada. We'll have our first international conference in Toronto at the downtown Hilton Hotel, and we'll be partnering with the DeGroote Society, or the DeGroote Centre for Medicinal Cannabis Research. So we'll be offering our joint conference from July 19th to July 21st, as Dr. McKillop said in his opening remarks. And we will be giving you more information as we get things set up and moving in that direction in terms of how to submit presentations and how to register for the conference. And again, you can scan the QR code on the screen if you want to go to our website and see more information about the conference. And then, and also, as Dr. McKillop mentioned, to kick off the collaboration between the two societies, we're going to have a special issue in our journal that is focused on the impact of federal legalization of cannabis in Canada. And the special issue seeks articles on empirical evaluations of the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic on cannabis use, changes in recreational and medicinal use over time, cannabis use in special populations, patterns of overlap between cannabis use and other psychoactive drugs, sex and gender differences in cannabis use, and then research with underrepresented populations and innovations in prevention and treatment. As you all probably know, in the United States, cannabis is not federally legal, and so we operate in a much different set or framework than you all operate. And so the journal is really interested in trying to present the perspectives of how things might look differently north of the border in a country that does have federal legalization compared to things how they look south of the border, where we're operating on a state by state basis with different laws and different patterns that can obviously complicate things in many different ways. And so we're really looking forward to the research that you all are working on and having that research focused or highlighted in our journal. Deadline for submissions is January 31st of 2024, and we expect the publication of the research to be in November of 2024, so just after the conference comes out. I'd also like to note that if you submit and present at our conference, all of the conference abstracts are published in cannabis as well. So we're really trying to disseminate research as widely as possible to make sure that everyone can have access to it. And I don't have much more, so here I'll turn it back over to Dr. McKillop. Thank you, everybody.